I'm Mayor Javier Figueroa, and good evening. I'm calling this regular meeting of the University Place City Council for Monday, November the 3rd to order. And I'll start with a roll call with the city clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Boykin.
I'm here.
Councilmember McCluskey. Councilmember Fleming.
Here.
Councilmember Grassi.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Wood.
Present.
Mayor Figueroa.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. And will Councilmember Grassi lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Yes, please stand with me for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And we'll continue with the approval of agenda. I'm calling for a motion to approve the agenda.
Mayor, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Is there any objections to approving the agenda? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Thank you. And we'll go to the fun stuff, presentations. And we'll start with the first one, which will be Native American Heritage Month proclamation. And will Desiree Fagan come up with me to the front over here, please? Thank you. Good evening. So, may I call you Desiree?
Yes.
Okay. So, would you help me out before I read the proclamation and award you a plaque? But no, it's just a proclamation. What's your title with, and who are you with to receive the Native American Heritage Proclamation?
So, hello everyone. My name is Desiree Fagan. I am a member of the Duwamish tribe. I also have descendancy in my family with the Tulalip and Suquamish tribes, so all local.
Thank you very much. So on behalf of the City of University Place and all of its citizens, City of University Place proclamation, whereas Native Indians, also called American Indians, first Americans of indigenous Americans, are the original inhabitants of North America and have stewarded these lands for thousands of years, enriching the cultural, spiritual, and historical fabric of our nation. Whereas Native American Heritage Month, observed each November, serves to recognize and celebrate the achievements, contributions, and enduring legacy of Native peoples. Whereas this month offers a meaningful opportunity to honor the vibrant traditions, diverse cultures, and invaluable contributions of indigenous communities, past and present. Whereas we acknowledge the resilience and strength of Native nations in the face of historical injustices and reaffirm our commitment to advancing equity, preserving tribal sovereignty, and uplifting indigenous voices. Whereas Native American Heritage Month invites all people to deepen their understanding of Native histories, languages, cultures, and to celebrate the accomplishments of Native individuals across all fields, from education and science to the arts, leadership, and public service. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of University Place hereby proclaims the month of November 2025 as Native American Heritage Month in University Place and encourages all residents to reflect on the profound impact of Native peoples, engage in meaningful learning, and participate in events and activities that honor Indigenous heritage. Proclaimed by the City Council of the City of University Place, Washington, on November 3rd, 2025. Congratulations. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming and receiving this. Is there anything you'd like? I'd like to give you a few seconds if you want to say anything.
Sure. I would just like to thank the work of all the council members who approved this proclamation today, also who did the work to approve Indigenous Peoples Day last month. I'd like to thank our city clerk. Thank you so much, and this is very meaningful, and I know that University Place strives to be an inclusive community, and this proves that, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is 30th Birthday Bash Sponsorship Appreciation. Is Mr. Gruner here? Okay. So for most of you that probably was around town during our birthday in August, we had a great 30th Birthday Bash. And one of our main sponsors we want to appreciate, and that's University Place Refuge. And Michael Gruner is part of that, our refuge business here, and so he's here to receive the plaque. So Michael would like to just read this to you and in front of all the public and on TV there and staff and council as well. We're all very proud of you and the company for being a community partner, a community member, one that takes care of our community in a service that is not an easy task to do and stay up with, but we do appreciate you. I know our citizens do. In grateful appreciation of University Place Refuge and Recycling, University Place Refuge and Recycling, thank you for your generous sponsorship and support of the City of University Place 30th Birthday Bash. We honored your unwavering support of our city, the City of University Place 30th Birthday Bash UP. That being said, just real quick, 30th, that happened, we were born 1995. And how long have you been here, by the way, altogether?
I was born and raised here.
No, not you.
The company, 1940. I thought you wanted to know more about me. That's okay. That's okay. We've been around since 1942. So
1942.
Well before City Hall.
Right before you were born.
Yes.
Yeah. So anything you would like to say on behalf of University Place Refuge?
We appreciate the entire city of UP. We appreciate the support we get from the city government. We appreciate the support we get from the customers, and we hope to continue on for years and years.
Yes, I do. And actually, can I just scoot just a little bit more this way so I can get all of the council members in? Thank you.
Thank you.
He left, but you know, UP Refuge has always set an example of a good community partner. I'm really happy for them. With that, we'll move on to public comment. And this is a time when an opportunity for members of the public to provide comments to the City Council about any items not appearing on the agenda or on the consent agenda. Is anyone online that would?
I don't see anyone online, Mayor.
Okay. Anyone present here today that would like to come up and provide comment? None? Okay. So we'll close the public comment section and move on to, 7A consent agenda. And I'm calling for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed.
Is there any objections to approving the consent agenda?
Second.
Oh, excuse me.
Mayor. With second.
Thank you. Is there any objections to approving the consent agenda? Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. And we'll move on to item number 8, City Manager and Council comments and reports. And we'll start with the City Manager, Steve Sugg.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. In just over a month from now, from this Friday, we will have the annual tree lighting event. It's the capstone event of the year for the city. And like in all previous years, we start with a parade and having Santa march up, come up the marketplace into our town center and greet parents and children and all members of the community that come out. It's going to be a great event, and there will be the exact times and particulars of those events will be outlined in a postcard, which is going out soon to all the households in University Place. So be on the lookout for that. And again, 5 weeks from this Friday is the annual tree lighting event, really our major legacy event of the city of University Place. So that's my report, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to start to my left, if it's okay, and go with Councilmember Frank Boykin.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I greatly appreciate it. Let me first reiterate the opportunity to really affirm meaningful positioning to honor the vibrant traditions, diverse cultures, as well as the invaluable contributions of indigenous communities. And specifically, thank Ms. Fagan for coming out and accepting that proclamation effort. Really appreciate the opportunity to show as many ways as we can about our inclusive posture and the expectation of the welcoming city that City of University Place is. Also wanted to highlight beyond that really 3 events that I attended since we last convened, Mayor and Council. I wanted to make sure that I had identified the inaugural State of Trade breakfast at the Northwest Seaport Alliance effort. It was in Seattle, Washington. The expectation was that entity, which is comprised of Port Commission of Tacoma as well as the Port Commission for Seattle, were celebrating its alignment, which dates back 10 years. In that, they gave us an opportunity to recognize that they were reiterating the importance of deepening the connections here regionally, which is, in my view, very, very important. Between the chances for them to provide policy, as well as to invite the support and the audience that typically is supply chain leaders, economic development, and industry influencers, as well as to ensure ultimately that we have an economic engine that helps encourage or elevate the quality of life here in our state, and as I alluded to, the region, which is where I really believe leadership in other municipalities fit in pretty nicely. Also wanted to, number 2, highlight the Salted Rim official opening. It was a soft opening, but what it wasn't was just soft for my wife and I. My wife, Alice, and I had an opportunity to enjoy what was a pretty fabulous celebration, indicative and alignment with what I see the City of University Place to offer in terms of one more fabulous dining experience. I'm sure that everyone will get an opportunity to patronize the restaurant. I think that it not being just convenient in proximity of our atrium, but just because we've got a way to offer a little bit different hours beyond what typically happens in the City of University Place. I think it's going to be a new inviting space for a number of people. So I would encourage you and invite you to put that on your schedule, as I would encourage you to do that with all our businesses in the City of University Place. I also wanted to last identify UP's Partner Up. This economic gathering of those that have been invested in our economic well-being from the posture of businesses as well as business community. The location for that gathering this past week was at the Essential Pantry. And it was a fabulous way for me to get a little bit more educated about my premium olive oils, I believe, and my different balsamic vinegars. So my wife is really excited about that because it was easy for me to pick up a couple of things for her to encourage her to help me enjoy those tastes that seem to be pretty prevalent for those that enjoy a wonderful palate experience, as well as me being able to just say, here you go, honey, I love you, and this is one more thing I think that, not that I'm keeping score, but your husband did for you this week. Also with that, let me share with you that the expectation of them positioning essentially those teas as well was all aimed at enhancing a culinary experience and promoting wellness, and that is extremely important to me as well, that we've got different ways to lean into the expectation of overall wellness for our community as well as for our individual impacts. So, Mayor, that's all I have. Thanks so much again for the opportunity to share and report out.
Okay, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. A few things. I'll just echo the statements that Councilmember Boykin made about Indigenous, well, not Indigenous Peoples Day, Native American Heritage Month. And thank you for being here for that. I'd also like to welcome Scout Troop 148, the young ladies of that troop, and take a moment because it's my daughter's 21st birthday and I get to embarrass her that she is also an Eagle Scout. Okay. And so I'm going to call her out and tell her happy birthday from the stand. A couple other things. So just like to remind everybody that we have a Veterans Day ceremony coming up next Tuesday on the 11th at Cirque Park at 11 o'clock in the morning. I'd encourage everyone to come be there. They're just right by the flags. Tomorrow, I will be attending the district roundtable with the county executive. And also, I'd like to remind everybody that tomorrow is Election Day. If you have not already turned in your ballot, please get out there and do so. And thank you, Mayor. That's all the comments I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Stan Flamen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll try not to be too winded here because a lot of good comments have already been made, but I'll just go through it. You know, number one, UP Refuse, as the mayor pointed out, has been a partner with the city since its inception. They provided a phenomenal service. They're a great partner to our community. I'm glad we had the opportunity to recognize them tonight for their great work and thank them for what they continue to do. As the Native American up here on the dais, I am delighted the city recognized that tonight, and I thank again the city for that recognition for all Native Americans / American Indians. Had the opportunity to attend the latest SHAPE meeting. The only real big thing that came out of our latest meeting is they have adopted their 2026 legislative priorities that they're sending to the legislature. We probably at some point to our city manager, we may want to have our the SHAPE executive director come and do that presentation to the city council, so we're all on board. It's pretty in depth and it's a very good recommendations that they have. No, lastly, I'm going to do a commercial here, and that is for commissioners. I don't know how familiar people are with the commissioners that serve University Place. I know we have several commissioners with us tonight, so I know some are going to be speaking. I know Commissioner Cunningham, I don't know if you're speaking tonight, but I know the folks over here are, so welcome. We're always happy to have you. However, you know, this is the time of year when the council starts soliciting applications for those who want to serve the city as a commissioner. They, through their volunteer efforts, play a really integral role to the city as we continue to grow and develop. They bring their wisdom and their knowledge to the table. They serve on various roles and we have various commissions within the city. So we have Economic Development Advisory, we have the Park Advisory Commission, we have the Planning Commission, and we have the Public Safety Advisory Commission. So my plug is we have several vacancies that the council has to fill on that coming up towards the end of the year. So if you have an interest in serving We would welcome it, we encourage it, and to be part of how we shape the destiny of our community. And if you want to apply, deadline for that is on November 26th at 4 p.m. For information about the commission and how to apply, you can go to the city's commissions and partners webpage. Choose the commission page that you're interested in, or you can email our city clerk, Mrs. Emmy Janisha. I hope I got that right, Emmy. At ejanisha@cityofup.com. So look forward to those applications. I know several of the council members here serve on the interview panel for that. So we welcome your interest, we welcome your application, and we look forward to seeing you. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Very good, thank you. Councilmember Grassi?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say an additional welcome to the troop that is here this evening. Thank you so much for being here, and it's a delight to have you, as well as Desiree Fagan. Thank you so much for your initiative and your hard work to bring this recognition to our city, and it's an honor to have your family here as well. This wouldn't have happened without you, without your initiative, and so I want to say thank you, and it's so important. So thank you for being a part of our community. It's a gift to have you. I also want to concur with Councilmember Fleming's comments to the Gruner family, to UP Refuse. What a treasure they are to our community, and the 30th birthday wouldn't have happened without them. I don't know if we would have made it 30 years, to be honest, as smoothly as we have without their support. They help our city in so many ways. And one of those I want to take a mention is our community Thanksgiving dinner that they are so faithful to sponsor every year. And so that will be happening this year at our senior center here in University Place at 11 a.m. It is a free community Thanksgiving dinner for those that would like to come and have a dinner with others in our community. It's a great community tradition, and again, wouldn't happen without sponsorship of UP Refuse. So want to make sure that happens on Thanksgiving Day at 11 a.m. So it'll be at our senior center this year. And then also, like Councilmember Boykin, was honored to be at the Partner Up event. Thank you to the Essential Pantry for hosting, and wonderful to be with our business leaders. I also want to say thank you to our UP Rotary, who have taken an active role in our Partner Up meetings and in our business community. Thank you for their support as well. And so that is all I have for this evening, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I've been thinking about what I'm going to do here, and I think we have, I know the camera for the public don't see what I see and what we see up here, but we have young people here, and I don't know, I think that all our council here just love having young people show up at our council meetings. So if I may ask, Curtis High School or University Place? Pardon me? So they're all from University Place School District?
Mostly, not entirely.
Okay, but okay. So if I can get permission from the council to be okay to have a photo up of your group to come up, instead of us coming down, they can come up here and we'll have a staff to take a photo up with them. I think they're here to learn about government, right? Yes. And so this is a good way to learn about government. What does it feel to be up here? So just come on up here. Yeah, let them sit.
You want us up here?
Yeah, no, up here. Come on.
I'm going to give someone my seat.
Yeah.
Who wants the chairs? You guys want to grab a seat?
Come on. Come on.
There's a seat for all of you.
Just real quick. We only have so much time.
It's kind of a cool feeling.
Okay, come on. Come on.
There you go.
Come on, right here. You get to sit on the mayor's seat here. Go through right there.
There you go.
Oh, it's just perfect. Okay. Okay, listen. You guys scoot in as much as you can. No, this way.
I'll get out
together.
Of the photo.
Together as much as possible. You can scoot in some more. And council, if you can scoot in with us. Okay. How's that look? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
You want to stand front?
No, that's all right. We'll just sit up here. Yeah. Yeah, you can just get another picture. Just down.
Oh, we're staying up here.
We're staying up here.
Yeah, we should stand right here. Yeah, we can just come together a little bit more. Right here. There you go. Right? A little bit more. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Got to let them have a memorable moment, right?
Don't ever forget.
So, thank you, young people. Thank you for indulging and coming up. I think that was really cool, and hopefully you can put that in your journal and your notes as you have to turn in for your assignment today. Okay, so we'll move on to, and by the way, that was my comments.
All right.
So we'll move on to item number 9. We're going into our study session at this time. And we'll go to item number 9, 2026 property tax levy. And our staff member, Leslie Blaisdell, is our finance director, will be reporting.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I'm Leslie Blaisdell, Finance Director. Tonight, for study session, we're discussing the property tax levy. We did receive the preliminary certification of assessed values from the county in late September. The assessed values citywide increased 4.27%. To implement the voter-approved 1% statutory increase, it's necessary to adopt an ordinance, and the total allowable levy rate, including the statutorily allowed increase, any new construction improvements, and administrative refunds have been calculated. The dollar amount of the 1% increase would be $60,220.63. There's some administrative refunds of about $14,000, and then the additional new construction and improvements amount is $30,000. So right now, the estimated levy amount that we would receive for public safety is $7,152,170.70 should we implement that increase. This is the estimate right now. We will get final values and final numbers at the end of the year, as there can be appeals and that sort of thing that can adjust those numbers slightly. There's never a big swing on that. Taxpayers in University Place pay one of two rates, depending on whether they qualify for an exemption under RCW 8436. In your packet, I broke down each rate based on the assessed value figure that was provided to us in September. With the 1% increase and the other items included, the estimated levy rate for taxpayers with an exemption, and that's the rate per 1,000 of assessed value, is 0.65219, so that's 65 cents per 1,000 of assessed value, and the estimated levy rate for all taxpayers, those without the exemption, is 0.95341. That's 95 cents, just over 95 cents per 1,000. The next steps for this is at our next meeting, we would have a public hearing and council consideration on November 17th. We have to have this approved and our certification provided back to the county prior to Thanksgiving, because it's late this month, so that's our deadline for submitting. If you have any questions on anything, I'm happy to answer.
Councilmember Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Leslie, thank you for your report. You know, one of the things that I know every council member up here hears is when we're talking with the constituency, we're reminded that sometimes they feel that UP taxes are the highest in the county. But in your report, because when people hear this, they may not completely understand what you're saying here. So if I could trouble you just to take a moment, if you would, and go over, take that dollar that most people are familiar with and break that down in terms of what does the city really end up with at the end of the day when we pay our taxes. Because we're not taking the lion's share, obviously. It's a minuscule piece of that for operations of the city. So could you do that just for those that are listening?
wish I had all of those numbers with me. I could really get into the numbers, but off the top of my head, of the total amount that the taxpayer pays for property tax, approximately 9% of what you pay actually comes to the city. The rest goes to the state, the schools, fire district, library, flood control, Pierce County Conservation Futures, and the port, yes. And so our share, with these numbers that I provided today, if you had a home that was, hang on, let me get to the right page. I did bring some backup numbers. If you had a home valued at $525,000, the amount that would go to the city is $499 is what the city gets of your total tax bill, which is much more than $499. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You bet.
So when you said 9%, 9 cents plus or minus, a little bit over 9 cents, I believe, is out of the dollar. It goes to UP.
Correct.
And everything else. 91 cents is distributed out to all those other organizations. Okay, so I think that's really important. Thank you. Before I ask another one, I'd like to clarify a couple of things. As an important to understand how that taxes is that we receive is that our council, now property tax collection can be used for about anything in our operating budget. Our city council for the longest time, I can't even remember, I've been on board for 16 years and it's been the same, and that is that all of our property taxes go to public safety, meaning our law enforcement. Not a penny goes to anything else other than law enforcement. And even then, and this is the clarification, does it even cover the contract that we have with the county?
Correct.
It does. Okay.
It's very close with the levy lid lift.
Okay, so with the new levy. Mm-hmm. So it does cover, but just on it, it's not like we're having a lot of money left over. So, but it does go 100% to law enforcement, and it is dedicated to that. We can't spend it anywhere else. So with that, Mayor Pro Tem Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. And just also for education clarification, the purpose of this 1% is to help defray against inflationary costs. And I know we're statutorily limited to the 1%. Could you tell us, the public, what was the rate of inflation or CPI last year?
2.7%.
2.7%. So excellent. Thank you.
So what you're saying is we never get enough to support the public safety because we're always behind the inflation. So, okay. Mr. Boykin, anything?
No, I can appreciate the COLA effort or comment that Mayor Pro Tem made so that there can be a clarification of essentially how money's coming to the city and the real impact that it has or doesn't have in terms of additional costs. And then, of course, clarifying specifically that the expectation for public safety has been centered and prioritized for, I want to say in perpetuity, but government changes, right? But thank you for the clarification. I appreciate all of that.
Okay. So with that, we'll move on to discussion and comments about, I think you're looking for direction to move forward with this to come back with an agenda item to approve it, correct?
Correct.
So you heard the recommendation. Is there anything that you would like to, council would like to comment as to why not, and give staff some direction? Okay, so I think you have the direction there. Okay, thank you. We'll move on to item number 10, which is LeMay Franchise Agreement. Our staff, Lisa Petoric, Administrative Services Director, will report.
Good evening, Council. Lisa Petoric, Director of Administrative Services. Tonight I wanted to talk about the LeMay franchise agreement. Currently the city holds 2 refuse franchises. The first and largest is with University Place Refuse, who you saw earlier this evening. But the second franchise is with Harold LeMay Services, who I'll reference as LeMay for the remainder of the discussion this evening. LeMay services the southeast quadrant of the city along Orchard Street West. They service approximately 460 residential and commercial customers. Out of that 460, most of their customers are actually residential. They have approximately 425 residential customers within their service area. The current franchise with LeMay is set to expire on December 31st of this year. When staff met with LeMay to review the franchise agreement, we updated the franchise in 6 key areas. The first is related to the CPIU adjustment, along with the 12-month period that's used for the CPIU consideration. The second is the introduction of a low-income senior discount for services. The third is the expansion and generalization of language, which would allow for a voucher pickup program to be in place with LeMay, which currently does not have that type of program. The second to last was an adjustment to the actual franchise length, and the final change is related to insurance premiums, other housekeeping items such as RCW updates, more clarification on certain definitions that have changed in those RCWs. So a lot of housekeeping updates were made. So I wanted to talk first about changing the CPI calculation methodology. Currently, under the current franchise, the base rates may be increased by 70% of the CPIU for June to June. LeMay's budgeting cycle goes from September to September, so they have made the request to change the consideration of the CPIU timeframe from June to, in your packet it says September, it's actually going to be August because we have to have those numbers in before the September budgetary timeframe for LeMay. So we would be using August to August CPIU BLS numbers for Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue. And so just to give you an idea what that looks like for the 2026 year, the August CPIU is slated to be 2.8%. So that would be the number that, if this franchise moves forward, would be applicable to the base rates for 2026. With that, they have requested to move the 70% of the CPIU up to a cap of 100% of the CPIU. However, with 100% of the CPIU, the base rates could not be increased further than 5% over the last year's base rates. So if, for example, back in 2022, when the CPIU for that same time period was 9%, the base rates would only be able to go up to 5%, as that's the protectionary cap within the franchise agreement, just to provide an example. Looking back over the course of the past 5 years, CPI has been approximately CPI for August over the course of the past 5 years has been 5.1%. June, it's been 5.34%. So slightly lower than the previous franchise CPIU that we've been using, but negligible. They're both around 5%. If you go further out, just to give you a better idea, over the course of the past 25 years, the CPI for August has been approximately 2.68%. So just providing some of those numbers to give you an idea of what that looks like. So the most common customer that LeMay has is a residential customer that uses a 64-gallon container with recycling services that's picked up every other week. So if we were to apply the CPIU at 100%, the rate difference would be an increase of $1.48 for that customer. So they would see the new rate would go from $52.99 per month to $54.47 per month. So again, an increase of $1.48 per month. In return for that consideration, we asked LeMay to introduce a low-income senior discount. So for individuals that are seniors that are already receiving the Tacoma Public Utilities senior discount, they can call LeMay, provide that confirmation that they are receiving that TPU, and TPU will apply a 20% discount to those individuals that are using a 35-gallon container. They currently don't track the number of seniors that are in their area, but we do plan on advertising should council approve this new franchise with this clause added to it, advertising this. And so hopefully in the future we will have some numbers to know how many seniors would potentially take this benefit. In addition to that, we're introducing language very similar to what you saw with the UP refuse franchise agreement, where we are expanding language to allow for a curbside pickup program that would occur at a minimum of 4 times per year under the LeMay contract. This would be where during specific time frames of the year, an individual can call LeMay and say, hey, I'd like a pickup for refuse or yard waste services, and they would come by and provide that service for the individual during those time frames. The length of the proposed franchise that's in your agreement is changed to a termination date of December 31st of 2035. There is a one-time extension that would be available upon mutual agreement between the city and LeMay to extend for an additional 5 years through 2040. So this also matches the franchise language that is also in your other refuse hauler. So both of those will be the same if council decides to move forward with this language as well. And then again, just wanted to mention some of the housekeeping items that we changed. One of the most notable ones is the insurance, commercial general liability insurance, automobile liability insurance, contractors pollution, all of those items. Those were increased to meet our WCAA insurance requirements. So you'll see in that language, most of those have each occurrence between $2 and $5 million. And so that was one of the major changes that we added to this contract language. So all in all, staff has negotiated with LeMay a franchise that attempts to balance some of their market comparators and market concerns with the services that residents have become accustomed to, in addition to trying to expand in some areas where service hasn't been provided, like the senior income discount or low income senior discount. So this will come before council for a public hearing that's scheduled for November 17th. But at this time, staff is looking for any questions that I can help clarify, or if there's any questions that need to be answered, or any concerns that you may have with any of the franchise language. Thank you.
So I'll start, and then we'll go around. But just real quick, you might have mentioned this, or my apologies there, but how does the increase compare to UP Refuge for the other citizens?
UP Refuse also has a clause for 100% of CPIU. However, because they're our main hauler, they have been provided some other provisions in terms of not having a cap of 5% rate increase year over year. Instead, they are tied to Pierce County indexing of 103%, where they can go above the Pierce County average. So it's slightly different because they're our main provider.
All right, thank you. Anyone? Councilmember Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Leslie, just indulge me. I've got a few questions or comments wherever. Anyhow, I think you may have asked the first one on the CPU adjustment for the 12-month period. You said that's the same as UP's?
UP uses a June to June CPIU for Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue. LeMay, what we will be using is an August to August CPIU for Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue, so a couple months later, because it lines up with their annual budget period, which is September to September.
Okay, so we're just aligning to their fiscal year,
yes,
primarily.
Yes.
Okay. The other thing that caught my attention is you said they currently pick up the refuse every other week for those residents living in the southeast part of the city.
That's the most common service, but they do have weekly service.
Because I was going to say, the rest of the city gets weekly service, so.
Yes. Their most common residential customer that they have can get weekly service or bi-weekly service, but the most common customer they have is one that has a 64-gallon container that gets picked up every other week.
Okay, that answers that question. You know, when we're talking about, when we do contracts, I'm always in the mood for win-wins. I hear a lot of wins for LeMay. I didn't hear a lot of wins for the city, you know, in this contract. So, you know, I heard the trade-off, well, we'll get this for the low income and the seniors, but if you've been down in that area, and I think most of us have when we doorbelled, there's not a lot of seniors down there. So my question is, where's the win for the city? Or, you know, when I say in this particular case, where's the win for the people that we're going to ask them to pay an additional $1.48 per month?
There are a number of multifamily housing units that are down that particular area, which I don't have the data on the number of seniors there, but we're going from 70% to 100%, so it's not the full $1.48. It's a 30% differential there. And I think the main key with this one is the 5% cap that protects the base rate from exceeding that amount year over year, which is, I think, important. That's maintained. The other service that is new is the voucher program, where you no longer have to drive your materials, but you can call and have that picked up 4 times a year, whether that's yard waste, whether that's refuse services. That was not in the previous contract, so that is a new service. The yard waste pickup was available, but the drop-off the drop-off for refuse is now being changed to a pickup.
So, you know, take the yard waste as an example. The rest of the city residents get their yard waste every other week. Why would we have this one only 4 times a year?
No, I'm sorry. This is a special pickup in addition to those residents that have weekly or bi-weekly yard waste pickup. So all the services that are experienced in our other franchise, all of the customers of LeMay can get that same service. What we're talking about is these special pickups that weren't in the previous franchise at the level that they are written in now.
Okay, thank you. You know, and I appreciate the clarification, but since I like to keep things simple in my head, when we get to the next hearing or if the council decides to move forward on this, could we just get a cheat sheet of what exactly are the citizens or / the city getting out of this deal that makes it comparable to the UP refuse deal? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay,
Thank
I appreciate
you,
it.
Councilmember.
All right, thank you.
Just real quick, just to follow up on that. If I understand this right, that special pickups with the vouchers where they can just call takes place of people having to drive this specific Saturday and get in line to load up and take their stuff down there, correct?
Yes.
That's a huge one. I mean, I don't know how many complaints people have told me, and I'm one of them, complaining to myself, because it's inconvenient that you have to be around that day for that one Saturday or 2 Saturdays of the year, and not everybody's around. So no, I thought when that happened with UP Refuge and now they're doing it, that's about as huge as you can get. I think it's a lot of people don't have to get a truck. A lot of people don't have a truck or something to put their stuff in. And so anyway, but I do understand, if I understand it right, is basically the same verbiage as the UP except for the 5% cap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and that is in favor of those folks because the other one could go higher.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilmember Grassley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Lisa, so much. One clarifying question. In addition to the 4 pickup services per year, UP Refuse, I also believe, offers twice a year large bulk item pickup from your curb, whether it's a refrigerator, a random item. Is there something comparable that LeMay is offering for residents?
LeMay doesn't do the bulky item pickup, which is separate from UP Refuse, which is why their rate is set up slightly different than LeMay. But they are not doing that.
Okay, so that is one difference that
Yes.
those residents cannot take advantage of, which is, of course, the UP Refuse is wonderful to provide that, but that is a huge asset to our residents. So I just want to be clear, it is not being provided in this contract.
Not for the LeMay.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you, Mayor. And just to continue with the inquiry about making sure that we're clear about the benefits to residents and citizens about if we choose to go forward with this agreement as a council, let me just revisit the aspect of the 20% discount, low income, as well as senior discount is, I believe, what was said. Is that correct?
Low-income senior.
Low-income senior. So it's a combination within that aggregate group of seniors.
Correct.
Okay. I know that when you began sharing with us that we really don't have data at this point that we can offer to recognize what that impact means, but it would be ideal to get that information so we can be that much clearer about what those additional benefits looks like. I want to be absolutely confident about how it is that we are responding to these asks, particularly unsolicited asks. I also wanted to just get a confirmation from you regarding the special pickup that happens 4 times a day. It's confined specifically to the 64-gallon container. Nothing that outside of that, or how does that work?
It can be a brush pickup, which can be a 6 by 6 by 6 foot pile.
Okay.
So as long as it's within that size, then it can be picked up. It doesn't have to be necessarily in the container for those special 4 pickups during the year.
Okay, very good. So that is a real appreciation that I want to make sure is also called out for clarity. And when would this go into effect if the council was to move forward, based upon what
Sure.
the mayor is thinking?
Sure. So if council provides approval at the public hearing for November 17th, this new franchise language would go into effect January 1st of 2026.
2026. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate your responses. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem, you have anything?
Yeah, just a quick question. I was looking at it, they're like UP Refuse, they don't do pickup for glass recycling, they do drop-off. Would you happen to know where drop-off recycling is for LeMay as opposed to UP Refuse?
They don't currently have a drop-off site, and that's something that we are in conversations about. Okay. Where in their service area could we put one? And they're open to having a glass drop-off site. We just need to find a location that's secure, as we've seen with what's been going on with the glass recycling at the other the high school, which was pulled. There was overflow happening there and other dumping that was occurring around the area. So we need to find a site that would be amenable to placing something there and have some sort of security or oversight.
Okay.
So it's in discussions.
Got it. Thank you.
Councilmember Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One last question, Leslie. I know when we set these contracts up originally, there was I know what the reason was for having 2 separate refuse companies service University Place. Fast forward that 30 years, what is the value or the advantage of maintaining 2 separate refuse for our citizens?
That's a great question. At any point, the franchise companies can go into a negotiation and go into taking over another service area. They just haven't done that to this point. So in the future, if that were to occur, so long as certain services remained in place and things were amenable, the city then would come back, hear that, present that to council for consideration. So there's nothing that the city is doing that's stopping that from happening, from having 2 franchises to, if a company wants to have, service area across the entire city.
Do we know of right now, since we're in negotiations to renew this contract, do we know what the value is to the city to maintain the status quo?
in terms of value, I don't have an answer in terms of value of keeping the two. It just hasn't come about where one has initiated those conversations with the other.
Okay. You know, maybe if I could trouble the city staff just to take a look at that, so when we again gather again to talk about it, we'd have a greater clarity on that one, if possible. Thank you.
All right, will do. Thank you.
That's all I have.
Okay. Do you have enough direction?
I believe I do. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we'll move on to item number 11, which is the City Commission 2026 work plans. And the first one is our Planning Commission. And our Planning Commission is Steve Smith and Harriet Richardson. They're the planning co-vice chairs, with our staff member Kevin Brisky, our planning director. Okay.
There. Good evening, Mr. Mayor and council members. I'm Harriet Richardson, co-chair of Planning Commission, and with me is Steve Smith, the other co-chair. And we are here presenting tonight the 2026 Planning Commission work plan. Before we do, we're going to give a quick recap of what we did on the 2025 work plan. But before I start, I want to acknowledge David Graybill, our chair, who recently resigned so that he could move back east and be with his family, closer to his family. So that's why we're here in place of him tonight. And I also want to acknowledge we do a lot of work, but the work we do cannot happen without the work that Kevin's team does. So every time we meet, we get a very comprehensive package that not only tells us what we're looking at, it tells us why we're looking at it. So they give us a good background, often involving state laws that have changed, council priorities that we need to consider when we're doing the work that we do. So really want to acknowledge Kevin, Kenneth, Emily, Katie, the work that they all do. So just a quick overview of what we did in 2025. One of the things that we were required to look at was middle housing implementation for House Bill 1110, and that the requirements of that bill had to be implemented no later than June 30th. So what we did was we reviewed amendments to the Middle Housing Code. We reviewed updated and new definitions in Title 19, the zoning code for middle housing, and the different types of housing, ADUs, courtyard housing, duplex, triplex, fourplexes, multifamily, townhouses. So quite a variety of that. We looked at the density standards, and we looked at lot subdivisions and setbacks and shared driveway requirements and parking requirements. And we also looked at a new chapter for middle housing design standards. We also looked at the 27th Street Business District Plan. So that plan, we reviewed and provided input on a vision that supports community values that was developed through an advisory committee of community members and business owners, as well as a survey to create a community destination with a cohesive identity and quality design that incorporates pedestrian-friendly redevelopment and civic improvements. And I know all of you have seen the pictures of what has been proposed, and when you think 20 years down the road, that's going to be a really nice area. It's going to include gathering spaces, a neighborhood that serves local businesses, creates dining, retail, and expanded housing opportunities. The next item is the Town Center District Plan, which we some of us have been involved in that a little bit so far with the community engagement process, but we're just starting to look at the plan. Our meeting on Wednesday, we'll be looking at a draft of the Town Center District Plan so that can be brought to City Council for review and approval in early 2026. We also looked at the development regulations update and critical area ordinance. So we reviewed proposed updates to Title 17, which is critical areas of the municipal code. We looked at new definitions and revised definitions. We looked at the criteria for protecting erosion and landslide hazard areas, fish and wildlife habitat conservation areas, frequently flooded areas, buffer zone requirements, and the criteria for granting variances, as well as information required in requests for reasonable use exception permits. The next item, the last item that was on our 2025 work plan was the R3 zone and overlay development. We did not get to that, and that is being carried over into our 2026 work plan, which I'll now pass over to Steve to discuss.
Thank you. And I'll just say we have our work plan for 2026 is divided into 5 areas. The first part is legislative updates. Again, what things that have been passed in the legislature that we need to do to keep the city compliant with all ordinances and laws. And then we have our improved small lots development standards that we'll be working on. That's, again, a council goal that we are following, Council Goal 4 on affordable housing. And then we'll be looking at the cottage housing. Again, another council goal for number 4 for affordable housing. And then we'll look at our pre-approved ADU plans. So this is, again, we're trying to keep up with you and to keep your lead and follow along in this work. And then, as Harriet was just saying, our last piece that we'll be looking at is the R3 zone overlay, where we will look and see how that works into our current planning. So back on the legislative updates, we will bring into the city into compliance with state legislation that was passed during the 24-25 sessions. We will review recently passed state bills and study how they are applying to our zone and subdivision codes. And we anticipate that there will be these things that we're working on. House Bill 1988, also known as co-living. This requires the city to allow dorm-styled housing units with shared kitchens. Part of this, hopefully, is to provide opportunities that people who are living in this, working in the city, would be able to find housing that they can afford to be here as well. House Bill 1096, known as the Lot Splitting Bill. This authorizes the division of existing residential lots into 2 when certain conditions are met. We'll be looking to how that might be implemented. Senate Bill 5509, that bill modifies how child care facilities are processed in the city. And this will allow child care facilities to be allowed in all zones except industrial, light industrial, and open space zones. But a city may allow them in industrial or light industrial zones under certain conditions. Senate Bill 5559, the bill that clarifies local processing requirements for unit lot subdivision. This would supersede the 2023 laws. Senate Bill 5571, the bill that limits the city's authority to regulate exterior building materials that comply with building codes. This cannot require or exclude exterior cladding materials that comply with state building codes. And then Senate Bill 5184, known as the State Parking Reform Bill. This caps local minimum parking requirements. So we'll be doing this work and amending and sending recommendations of amendments to our codes as applicable. And I have an echo. Okay. We'll try that again. Okay. My voice goes far. That's all I can. And then we'll be into our next, it will be around improved small lot development standards. This work will be done during the first quarter. We will amend the small lot development standards found under Chapter 19.53 of the Municipal Code. Small lots is a specific type of development that allows homes to be built on smaller lots in exchange for meeting design and open space standards. The Planning Commission will explore the option for improving the city's small lot development regulations as recommended in the 2021 Housing Actionable Toolkit, HAT. Amendments are intended to improve the provisions of this code and make the standards more practical, flexible, and effective for development. Again, this works with the council goal and development of our comprehensive plan under policy HS2B and improving usability of this development code to support the council's affordable housing goal. And then under cottage housing, this will be starting in the second quarter. Our work will be to explore development of a cottage housing ordinance. The Planning Commission will consider cottage housing as a middle housing option during our development of the city's middle housing ordinance. But staff recommends that we hold off until 2026 to spend more time on the ordinance as a separate project. The Commission will review options for developing a specific cottage housing ordinance with separate development standards than those established in the middle housing. So our goal again is working with affordable housing that is identified by the council. And then our pre-approved ADU plans. This will start in the second quarter and extend to the end of the year. We're establishing a pre-approved accessory dwelling unit ADU program for the city. The Planning Commission will begin reviewing the draft plans and design concepts for inclusion in a pre-approved ADU program for the city. This initiative is intended to streamline permitting, lower design costs for homeowners, and encourage the construction of ADUs to expand local housing choices. The Commission's review will focus on selecting designs that are consistent with city zoning and design standards. And then our R3 zone overlay development. This will start in the last half of 2026. And we'll develop a new residential 3 or R3 zoning district. The city's housing action toolkit developed in 2021 recommends the city explore development of a R3 zoning district or overlay zone to create additional opportunities for middle housing. Currently, the city has 2 low-density zoning districts, R1, Residential 1, R1, and Residential 2, R2, that allows detached single-family units with accessory dwelling units. With the adoption of the Middle Housing Ordinance in June of 2025, HB 1110, these zones now permit up to 4 units when one includes an affordable housing option. The Planning Commission will evaluate how development of an R3 zone or overlay could further expand housing option opportunities in appropriate areas in the city. And again, the development of the R3 zone serves to support the council's affordable housing goals. And that's our precise work that we're looking to accomplish in 2026.
Very good, thank you. And Councilmember Fleming?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And Harriet and Steve, thank you so much. That's pretty comprehensive, and that's a lot to accomplish in one year. So, but you know, I was following along in detail in terms of what you were saying, and it sounds like you've hit every House bill, Senate bill that the city has to face to accommodate this increase in growth. The question I have, though, as you work through that is, what do you see as your biggest barrier or challenge to accomplishing your goals for 2026?
So I think as a group we work very well together. We provide a lot of input. I think the main thing is making sure that we understand what the state laws require as we incorporate those into these plans, because those they flow down to you, and so if we don't understand them, we're going to give you wrong information when we come forward with what we've given. So again, that also goes back to our appreciation for what the city staff do for us, because they really make sure we understand when there's a state law that applies to the work that we're doing, and so I think that's the most important aspect of that.
Are there any additional resources that you foresee that you'll need to accomplish those objectives?
No, but there is what for ADUs. We did talk during our planning meeting for the work plan that Washington State University has received a grant, and they're working in conjunction with, I believe it's Colorado State University or University of Colorado. It's a $225,000 HUD grant to develop some guidelines for designers and builders for modular and cross-laminated timber construction housing plans. And so if we can tag along, sort of piggyback on some of that, we may be able to get a little more bang for the buck, so to speak, on what we do in developing plans. These are pre-approved plans that will really save people money because they won't have to go out and get their own designer, their own architect to design an ADU. The city will have plans already in place that they can just pick one and say, yeah, I like that one, and it will just have to go through the permitting process, but the plan design would have already been approved, so it's a win-win for everyone. So maybe looking at some of that as a resource, if we can take advantage of that, that might be helpful.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
I would just add to that also, it's just, and our work is trying to make sure that our residents understand what this is, so that, because it's their option to do this. And so we want to make sure that we are providing housing opportunities for more people and things that are affordable, but it's going to make sure that it gets word out and we get word back to people that we are reviewing this and getting input. We have a couple realtors, and that's a really great way to keep information about what people are looking for in housing to us, but that's just an important piece for us as well.
Great. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. So first, I'd just like to comment, I really appreciate how this is laid out. It's very clear, very organized. I like how, of course, you tied it to council goals. And because of the council goal that you've tied it to, which is number 4, affordable housing, obviously that's going to be a big topic of discussion for our council this coming year. And Kevin, if I could ask that when we get to certain points in the substantive discussion with council about some of these issues, and I'm particularly looking at the R3 zone overlay and the cottage housing, if you could have a commission member here with you, just so we can directly ask the commission members what they thought or how they came to their conclusions. Not that I don't trust you or anything like that. That's not what this is about. But I'd love to hear directly from basically our public representatives to hear what they think and how they think. If they're available to do so, I would like to see that if I could. Other than that, I have no specific questions. I like what you laid out. Thank you.
Whatever it's worth, I agree. Councilmember Grassi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to say thank you for this presentation and all of the hard work. I just want to reiterate to those that are watching in our community that this is a volunteer position that you have put a lot of thought and time and effort into, and we couldn't do what we do without your support. So this is a lot of effort and detailed work. Thank you very much. I also want to take the opportunity, as Councilmember Fleming mentioned earlier, we have vacancies on all of our commissions right now. And so for those watching and that will watch, could you just let us know, for those that might want to apply for your commission, what makes a great planning commissioner? What are you looking for on your team? What should people love if they want to serve on this commission? What do they, maybe a skill set, or what things, if they hate something, should they stay far away from that commission, maybe apply for a different one?
I have to say that it's not relative to the planning commission planning. Okay, we can maybe do that later, another time. Sorry. It's just got to stick with the plan. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you. I'm echoing Councilmember Grassi's gratitude for you both, co-chairs Richardson and Smith. Really appreciate you sharing with us what the expectations are, the wonderful, comprehensive report of what's already been done and what we can anticipate, which is centered obviously in housing. Really appreciate that. I think it's really sage of you in particular, Vice Co-Chair Smith, to talk about these impact our residents, these impact folks who are in the city of University Place, and that understanding and expectation about what's available is really important, as housing again is centered, which good, bad, or indifferent is has an opportunity to feel and be different in the city of University Place as we move forward. So don't want to miss any opportunity to get more information, have comprehensive information to help people understand about that middle housing piece, which has been prioritized clearly by the legislature. And to that extent, again, also to echo again, Councilmember Grossi's expectation about gratitude. Really appreciate your service, because I think that examples are always clear, and if you can get people who demonstrate leadership and care in the ways in which it already aligns with what council has prioritized, that's just a real demonstrative way of what working together means in the city of University Place, as the council provides support of its governance, as well as the expectation of, again, pulling in residents to ensure that their education is also prioritized in these efforts as we move into 2026. So again, thank you both for an excellent report and a report out this evening. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. And anyone else before I comment? No? Okay. It's ditto on a lot of everybody that made the comments. My only additional comment is that for the public that want to attend your meetings to hear what you're discussing and maybe make public comment, what's the best way to do that?
Obviously, on the website, we'll have our meeting dates and agendas that come forth for those. And so that's a great way to sort of see what's there. Our meetings are not the most exciting things that happen, but in terms of impactful, in terms of the quality of life that we experience here, this commission has a significant role in that work. And so we encourage people to come out and just sort of see how the process moves forward and what happens with this.
And the first and third Wednesdays of each month.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And so any additional information before we move on? We're good? Okay. Thank you very much for your report. It's excellent. Thank you. And the next commission is our Economic Development Advisory Commission. And Joshua Kuntz, our commission chair, is here to do the presentation.
Good evening. So I'm Joshua Kuntz. I'm the chair of the Economic Development Commission. So thank you for having me this evening to discuss a little bit about our work plan for 2026. I would just like to start off by thanking Kevin Brisky and Becky Metcalf, the staff members that help out with the Economic Development Commission. They are definitely the ones that keep us on track throughout the year. And Kevin provides ample information in all of our meetings for what is going on in the business community and new projects that we have going on and what the city is working on. And then Becky really keeps us in line and keeps us on track for everything that we're working on and helping throughout the year. So everything that we do, we couldn't do that without them. So want to definitely give them a shout out as we get going here. So in 2025, we met, I think, for the most amount of times that I've been on the commission in 2025. So I've been on the commission for about 8 years now. So we met numerous times throughout the year. And I just wanted to say the staff has been really flexible with that as well. We are all very busy business professionals. And so being able to be flexible with the times that we're meeting and then also introducing a hybrid option for our meetings. All of them are face-to-face, but we do have a hybrid option where we can call in on Teams. And it makes it so we don't have to cancel meetings because we don't have a quorum. And able to meet and be able to attend every meeting has been very good. So that's something that we introduced recently, and it's been very helpful. So just recapping 2025, we did have 8 ribbon cuttings with new businesses held in 2025 and 4 networking events. And we also introduced a business owner spotlight in all of our meetings. So a business owner comes into the economic development meetings and gives an overview of their business and also talks about if they're a new business, how it was setting up a business in University Place, if they're an existing business, how it is conducting business in University Place, if they've had businesses in other cities, how it compares to that. Very helpful to hear from the community, not just to learn about their business directly if they're new, but also how it is to do business in University Place. So we've had numerous business owners coming in and doing that throughout the year, and that's been a really good addition to our meetings throughout the year. We also took part in advisory commissions for the Town Center Business District Plan, having the opportunity to provide input and feedback to the project moving forward. So that's 2025. So the work plan for the EDAC in 2026 revolves around strategies designed to support the City Council's goal number 2, which is enhance the quality of life for our residents and drive sustainable growth for our business districts. So I believe you have notes here, but for our work plan items, but the first two support this goal in strengthening the Commission's relationships, specifically with the business community through attendance at various events facilitated by the economic development staff. These include the ribbon cuttings, networking events like Partner Up, and the home-based business receptions. And then partnering with the Planning Commission as well by including the liaison from the Planning Commission at each one of our meetings. This Planning Commission often deals with issues that impact our business community. So we're able to provide impact to the Planning Commission as well. Just Byron Poland has been that liaison from Planning Commission throughout 2025. He's done an excellent job attending all of our meetings and giving the recaps of what Planning Commission is working on, and then ways that we could help or add input to what the Planning Commission is working on as well. Next work plan item relates specifically to how the business community is presented on the city's website. So revamping of some of the pages and concentrating on a presentation of the 3 specific business districts in University Place, helping focus on businesses in each district, and residents like to check out these areas. So in 2026, we will provide input on the updates to the city's business web pages to include a focus on these districts and including information on restaurants located in University Place, which is something that we continue to get numerous feedback from the community about the different restaurants in University Place and what is being done about that. Next item here is once all 3 business district plans are complete and adopted by the City Council, a review of the recommendations for implementation of each plan will be conducted in order to identify actions to be undertaken in support of these business districts. The Economic Development Advisory Commission will provide input and suggestions during this process. And then finally, the last item here is a continuation of a 2025 goal regarding the Town Center Business District Plan. In 2025, the process in developing the plan was started and is anticipated to be completed by the end of first quarter 2026. And we'll have an opportunity to comment on this plan and provide input. The EDAC stands ready to add any items to its work plan as directed by City Council. That's one thing that we just require feedback from you as well as staff members. So anything that we're working on or anything that additional that you think that we would need to work on for 2026, we're open for that and welcome for your feedback.
Council, Mayor Pro Tem Wood.
Thank you, Mayor. So just a specific comment on your second goal, working with the Planning Commission. I think that's good. One thing I've learned as I've been sitting up here now for 4 years is that our commissions, while they're somewhat siloed, they actually have a lot of overlapping areas of territory. I won't say territory, but overlapping areas of interest. Mm-hmm. And specifically, I would love to hear your commission's feedback when they get to the discussion of R3 zoning. Because of the increased density of housing, the possibility of the likelihood of that being set right next to business districts and other areas, and perhaps even the possibility of mixed use, I have no idea. but I would love to hear your commission's perspective on R3 zoning in particular, because I think there's going to be a lot of value there when you talk.
Yeah, absolutely. We did have conversations with Byron about that in a couple of our last meetings. I would like to, volunteer to come to some of the planning commission meetings to discuss that in further. If there's any work plan items that we need as far as like special meetings or anything like that, more than happy to help there. But as you or the planning commission brings forward to the city council, would more than happy to come to those meetings as well, or anything. So, absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much. Yeah. That's all, Mayor.
Before I go into another council member, it's just on that itself issue, and this is actually from Kevin. Is there when there are interests involved in issues, whether it be what Mayor Pro Tem was talking about, is there like like you do in the process of permitting, you send it to different departments to check off and review and check before you will approve it. So in this case, bring it to council. Do you have, like in this case, have the planning commission, whatever they do, especially in certain areas that maybe cross over, to send it to the Economic Development Commission for their review in specific areas, and before it comes to council?
The quick answer would be yes. If it's related to commercial development, yes, that is something. For example, when the council adopted the form-based codes relating to the regional growth center, that was something that we also brought to the EDAC at that time. When most of the bulk of the heavy lifting kind of goes through the planning commission first, I guess, because they're the body that is required by state law to make the recommendation to city council. But those are examples of times that we would also take something to the EDAC where there's some overlap. The Sudbury plan is another example where the town center Sudbury plan is going to the planning commission for a first look on Wednesday, but then we're also going to be taking it to the EDAC in
Okay, so you do have a review and comment, and that goes back to the planning commission and then up to us. Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilmember Grassi.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say again to you, thank you for your work. It can't be overstated that this is a valuable gift of time and your wisdom to our city. And so I just want to say thank you, and please echo our gratitude back to your fellow commissioners as well. But thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for this work. I think it puts the value on what we see as our business community, that we value that, and what we want to see grow. So thank you for your thoughtful time on this. It really, truly, it's a gift. Thank you.
Appreciate that. I will definitely bring that back.
Thank you.
Councilmember Fleming.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to echo Councilmember Grassi's comments. They're well-earned, well-deserved. We so appreciate what you do. And thank you for this report this evening. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last commissioners, and that is, as you go into 2026, and I may expand that a little bit, what challenges and barriers do you see that would impact your ability to achieve your goals? And then what other opportunities do you see to expand your goals?
Yeah, I think the mayor mentioned it as well. I think we need to do a better job about communicating between the different commissions, what they're working on. And as well as, I think we have a great plan for 2026 as far as what the council's goals are and how we're working towards those. I think if we stray from that, I think we would be beneficial of coming back to city council and statusing our progress throughout the year, to get some sort of direction on how we're doing and how you see through 2026 how you may want to adjust that plan for what we're working on. I don't want to confuse a bunch of activity with progress, right? Like if we're working on a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not what you guys are after, then that's not what we should be doing. So I think it would be a good idea in 2026 for regular status reports for what we're working on, and making sure that you guys will be able to pivot what we're doing.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Councilmember Boykin.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you again for, the excellent report about what you've done as a commission and your leadership within it. Specifically, as I look at the 5 strategy offerings, if you will, throughout the year, I was curious about 2 things. The first is the time frame that has been laid out in according to 2 strategy offerings in particular, and that's because they are more specific to the first quarter. So since I recognize that as a thoughtful way to lay out what your accomplishments anticipate to be throughout 2026, can you tell me why those 2 are prioritized for a first quarter completion, if you will? Specifically, the update for the business web pages, maybe that's convenience relative to the business districts and information that would be impactful. But the other scenario about the Planning Commission coordinated work, the expectation of the impact to the Town Center Business District, how that's confined to the first quarter of 2026 in terms of your anticipate sharing of that information as a commission.
Sure. So I will. I'll answer these, and then if Kevin has any color to anything that I say, we can jump in as well. So the first one for the business web pages, I know that you guys may have seen the videos that were done by. We hired a team to put together videos for the specific districts. Those are nearly complete and live. When those goes live in 2026, then we will adjust those web pages as needed throughout the quarter, and then that's why we expect it to be done.
That's exciting. That's exciting. No, I did not have that in mind. Thank you for that.
So those were contracted and actually very cool. We've seen most of them, rough cuts of them already, and they're going to be a great addition on there. So that should be done shortly in 2026. And then the next one here.
Is that driven by Planning Commission timelines?
I think it was what Kevin was mentioning earlier, right? When that gets through the Planning Commission and then to the EDAC for review as well, then that would be shortly completed in 2026 as well.
Okay, I'm looking at you in particular, Mr. Brisky, because I want to be sure that that's not outside of the timeline that was also anticipated that the Planning Commission might have in mind. But I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything, because I thought that might have been a little bit out of sync. But if not, no harm, no foul. I just want to make sure I understand that clarification, that by the end of the first quarter of 2026, that should be wrapped up and available for
Yes. It's based on the sub-area plan is almost complete now, so it's ready to go and start the review, and so it'll be done first quarter. So that's why that was put that way. And same thing with the web pages updates. We were waiting for those videos, which, as was mentioned, are finalized but not out to the public yet. But we're right there on the cusp of doing that. So that's why that's an early accomplishment in the first quarter next year.
Thank you so much. Just one other comment, Mr. Mayor. I want to encourage you to recognize that all our commissions, we would like to use as deeply with the thought and intentionality they bring to offering us good information. What we're looking for is the best opportunity to make good decisions. So leaning into it, even outside of the capacities that you know there is an alignment, if you think that's going to be a better resource to us as a council, I just want to encourage that. The more information that we ever get to make a good decision, that's exactly where we want to be positioned. So thank you again for, a thoughtful report and your leadership within the commission.
Absolutely. Thank you.
That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. I just have a couple more comments, and that is, I didn't hear the Chamber of Commerce in any of the conversation, but as you know who they are. So is there any working relationships or link between the Economic Development Commission and the Chamber of Commerce, who focuses on businesses, as to how you can work your work plan along with, in conjunction with what they may be doing as well?
Maybe you can talk to Becky's work with that.
Yeah, yes, one of the commission members, Jason Light, is a chamber member, and that's kind of our connection with the chamber to understand what's going on with them. And then we partner with the chamber on different things like West Side Wake Up, and I just presented at that a few weeks ago from the city standpoint. So we do have a connection and overlap there.
Good. And the other one is, you talked about businesses coming to the commission and to present. How are they notified, or how do they know that they can do this?
So typically, Becky Metcalf reaches out to them as they're a new business, or in her discussions that she has with existing businesses about the commission. And she's obviously inviting them to our meetings, but also inviting them to be one of the business owner spotlights where they can highlight their business in our meeting.
Thank you. Any other council member comments? Any other direction or ask that you need to know from us before we're good? You're good? Okay. We're all good then. Okay, thank you very much for your work and for your presentation. So that brings us to the end of our study session, and I'll call this meeting adjourned.
So it is written, so it is done.